So it's lovely to have the opportunity to speak a little about the research component of the program. And our research teaching is delivered across the 3 years of the program. And we actually have 3 taught modules, one for each year of the program. So in first year, there's Applied Research 1, which really provides a comprehensive overview of some of the main research approaches that are valuable for us as clinical psychologists and for the discipline as a whole. And that will include some work focused on theory, but also on process. And that's really deepened in Applied Research 2, which is the research module that is taught in second year, which focuses more on the practical steps that you'll be taking in terms of conducting different forms of analyses. Now, Applied Research 3, which is the third research module, is very much focused on the completion of the thesis that is submitted at the end of that year. The teaching is led by a diverse group of people, really drawing on the range of expertise that's available to us. So that includes teaching delivered by members of the DClinPsych team, but also from the School of Psychology more broadly, and from some guest lecturers. In recent years, we have also sought to bring together the doctorate in educational psychology trainees with our own trainees to deliver research methods teaching. So there's a great opportunity to learn from peers who are also doing doctoral level training, but in educational psychology. So nice opportunities for some cross-fertilization. So what research do trainees complete? There are 3 forms of research activity, and that really begins with the service-related project, and a proposal is prepared for that in first year, which is submitted, and trainees get some feedback, and then they are given the go-ahead to go out and conduct the service-related project, which tends to be aligned with where trainees might be on placement, but not always. There are some important service-related projects that can be done in relation to the program activity as well. So it can be health service related, but it can also be with regard to the program delivery. And that service related project is submitted in second year in November. Then we move on to the 2 substantive parts of the thesis. And the first substantive chapter is an extended literature review. And the other key part of the thesis is the large-scale research project. And we have tried to encourage the trainee cohorts to really make good progress with the extended literature review in the second year. And that can sit alongside the progress that trainees are making to get ethical approval for the large-scale research project and for the collection of data for that project, so that it doesn't all fall on that third year. So important for DClin trainees to have the opportunity to be progressing these 2 substantive parts of their thesis through their first year with regard to getting approvals, but then also getting started with the activity in second year and continuing that activity in third year. So who supervises DClinPsych projects? Well, supervisors can be based in the program team, and we do have a range of expertise within the staff group on the Doctorate in Clinical Psychology program. But we also draw on some of the expertise from colleagues working in the School of Psychology more broadly. And there are some other departments at Queen's University Belfast who have been actively involved in the supervision of our projects, for example, School of Nursing or the School of Medicine. Non-Queen's staff, so our colleagues who are clinical psychologists working out in local trusts, and also representatives from community-based organisations are also welcome to be part of the supervisory team or the research group. And we do have a requirement, however, that there are at least 2 Queen's University Belfast-based staff involved in the supervision, and that's a requirement across Queen's University. It's not unique to our programme. And trainees will meet with their supervisors and members of their research team on a regular basis to ensure that they are making good progress and that they feel adequately supported through the journey that they have with their research. Just to think a little about the thesis and the viva, there are three main elements of the thesis. And as I mentioned, the first substantive chapter is the extended literature review. Then the second is the large-scale research project. And we also then finally have the appendices, which relate to documentation that you've used to support your research activities, such as participant information forms, consent forms, but also some of the supplementary materials and data that is useful for examiners to view so that they can have a good oversight of the work that was done. So final year trainees are submitting their thesis in May, early May of their final year, and then we have vivas that are organised in June. And the viva really provides an opportunity for the trainees to defend the work that they've done and to really talk aloud about some of the learning and reflections that they have had from that process. So we have an external examiner, someone who's from outside Queen's, and then an internal examiner. And we also have chairs who help to ensure the smooth running of the vivas. And just to emphasize that the regulations at the university say that the DClin thesis can be up to 40,000 words, and that's to ensure there's adequate scope to capture the work. We encourage our trainees to submit their extended literature review and their large-scale research project chapters in line with the guidance that academic journals provide for those wishing to submit research for publication. And that's to ensure that we do justice to the time, energy, and effort that participants give to participating in projects, and that we try to develop the discipline of clinical psychology by disseminating the research findings. So we strongly encourage our trainees to publish their work. And that can mean sometimes that the word limit falls a bit lower than the 40,000. So please don't read 40,000 and be too intimidated by that. That's a maximum. So some examples of the DClinPsych projects that have been conducted recently, and I'll just allow you time to read through the 6 titles here, which give a flavour of the range and diversity of the types of population that people focus on, the types of questions that the trainees are seeking to address. And you'll maybe get a sense from those titles that trainees can do both quantitative research and also qualitative research. Occasionally there are opportunities to do mixed methods projects. And we don't assume a high level of research competency when people are coming into the program. Clearly that's part of the criteria that is used for selection, but it's more about giving people the opportunity to develop their research competencies through the teaching they receive, through the supervision they receive as they progress through the program. So if you haven't had a load of research experience, please rest assured that there are opportunities to develop those competencies as you progress through the program. So just by way of summary, research teaching happens across the 3 years within the teaching day. There are 3 substantive elements of the research. There's the service-related project, extended literature review, and the large-scale research project. The large-scale research project has to be supervised by a minimum of 2 Queen's staff members. The LSRPs can cover and focus on a range of different topics and draw on different methods. We try to accommodate trainees who have research ideas that they would like to develop, and we try to match the trainees with supervisors who may share similar interests with themselves. That can't always be guaranteed, unfortunately, but we do try to support those who wish to develop ideas that they have themselves. And in the final year, trainees submit a thesis and they are examined with a viva. And trainees are strongly encouraged to publish their research in peer-reviewed academic journals. Just by way of some examples of papers that have been published that relate to trainee research, I just wanted to include 5 examples here that have been published recently, and I'll give you a chance just to read through those titles. So thank you for your time, and I hope that's provided a bit of an overview of the research activity that you'll be undertaking on the programme.